Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. You know, it's wild to think about, but a massive chunk of human communication has absolutely zero to do with the words coming out of our mouths. Today we're diving headfirst into the fascinating world of nonverbal physical signals. Let's be real, every single person you meet is hiding something, right? Thoughts, intentions, insecurities, emotions, it's just human nature. And most of us walk through life completely blind to the everyday psychology playing out right in front of us. But by the end of this, we're going to develop a totally different skill set together. We aren't learning magic or mind reading here. We're going to learn exactly how to decode human behavior just by quietly observing physical patterns. So, I've got to ask you directly, what are people really saying when they say absolutely nothing? It's a pretty compelling mystery, isn't it? Even though we all naturally try to keep our cards close to the chest and hide our true intentions, the human body always leaves visible clues. You just can't completely mask human psychology. It leaks out. And if you know exactly what to look for, you can figure out what someone is feeling way before they even open their mouth. Think about that massive gap between what people say and what their bodies actually do. I mean, we've all seen it. Someone looks you dead in the eye and says, "I'm fine," but their body's screaming a completely different story. Their arms are crossed tight, you can literally hear the tension in their voice, and their smile looks, well, totally forced. This right here establishes exactly why observing nonverbal signals is an absolute game changer. Emotionally intelligent folks know that words are often just used to hide true emotions, so they tune out the words and watch the body instead. Okay, really quick, here is our roadmap for today's Explainer. We're going to cover the silent language of behavior, establishing resting body posture, decoding eyes and facial expressions, body positioning and physical mirroring, and finally, mastering emotional detachment. This is your complete toolkit to uncover hidden intentions. All right, let's jump right into section 1, the silent language of behavior. The absolute core rule of reading people is understanding that words are often just a smokescreen. Emotions leak through our physical behavior long before any words are spoken. Tone, body language, eye contact, physical energy, that is where the real truth lives. If you want to level up as a highly perceptive observer, you've kind of got to train yourself to ignore the verbal static. Just cut right through the noise of what they're saying and focus entirely on their physical energy and their emotional reactions. That is where you'll find the genuine data. Moving right along to section 2, establishing resting body posture. Now, to spot a lie or uncover a hidden emotion, you first need to know what normal actually looks like. And that brings us to this absolutely crucial concept called baseline behavior. Basically, this is a person's normal, natural physical state and posture before any sudden shifts happen. Think about your best friend, or maybe a coworker you sit next to every single day. You intuitively know their default posture, right? So when they're having a bad day, it's instantly obvious to you. Well, before you can figure out why a stranger's behavior just changed, you have to establish that baseline first. Maybe there's someone who naturally talks super fast. Maybe they normally have a really relaxed, slouched posture. Or perhaps they just naturally avoid eye contact. You've got to figure out their default setting first. Once you've got that baseline locked in, you just watch for the deviation. Because when baseline behavior suddenly changes, psychology almost always explains why. Let's say you ask someone a totally simple, everyday question, and they suddenly physically stiffen up or get super rigid. That sudden physical shift is a massive red flag that exposes discomfort or insecurity. Their emotional reaction is literally giving away their hidden thoughts way faster than their logical brain can cover it up. All right, let's get into section 3, decoding eyes and facial expressions. We're zooming into the micro level now, and this is where the subtle art of observation really pays off. Notice how the eyes constantly reveal emotional tension. Confident people naturally maintain calm, steady eye contact. It just feels relaxed. But on the flip side, if someone is rapidly breaking eye contact, or maybe they're doing the exact opposite and just staring unblinkingly at you, that exposes nerves or an attempt at manipulative dominance. The eyes serve as this amazing real-time gauge of internal tension, giving you an immediate read on someone's true comfort level. And it's not just the eyes. There are all these tiny, unconscious physical leaks. Touching the face, restless movement, forced smiles, sudden posture shifts. These micro behaviors happen in literal fractions of a second. It's the human brain literally leaking emotional information right out through the body. The crazy thing is, the vast majority of people simply never notice these fast, subtle details. But when you start actively watching for these tiny actions, you are seeing unfiltered emotions bubbling right up to the surface.
Let's zoom back out to the macro picture in Section 4, Body Positioning and Physical Mirroring.
Here, we're looking at how the whole body operates in physical space. As humans, we subconsciously move physically toward things we like, and we put distance between ourselves and things that cause us discomfort. It's just hardwired into our biology. When someone is experiencing psychological comfort, like when they genuinely like the person they're talking to, their body naturally faces them. Their attention is engaged, their physical energy is totally open. But psychological discomfort instantly creates physical distance. You're going to see closed arms, leaning away, minimal engagement. The body is reacting to the environment before the conscious mind even realizes what's happening. And that leads us to this incredibly fascinating phenomenon, physical mirroring. This is when someone subconsciously copies the body language, speech style, or posture of someone they feel connected to. Spotting someone naturally matching your posture or your physical energy is a massive nonverbal indicator of built trust, emotional comfort, and even attraction. Honestly, it's the exact same psychology behind why long-term couples sometimes start walking, talking, and even dressing exactly alike. It's just psychology's way of silently saying to the other person, hey, we are on the exact same wavelength. Finally, let's wrap things up with Section 5, Mastering Emotional Detachment. Knowing all these physical signs is totally useless if you don't have the right mindset to actually process them. We have to shift from observing others to managing yourself. Here is your real-time strategy for absolute clarity during any interaction. First, you have to consciously drop your own emotional temperature to stay calm. Second, silence your own assumptions so you stop projecting. And third, just watch the patterns unfold patiently. Why is this so absolutely critical? Because people who get emotionally reactive too quickly completely lose their observational skills. Strong observers always stay detached. Emotional control radically improves your physical perception. Seriously, the calmer your mind, the more behavior you notice. When you are quiet, when you deliberately speak less and observe more, you allow silence to create psychological pressure. And pressure inevitably reveals behavior. Your personal calmness is quite literally your greatest tool for accuracy. But there's a huge trap you absolutely have to avoid here, and that's projection. So many observers fail because they just assume others think exactly like they do, and that creates total blindness to what's actually happening right in front of them. Emotionally intelligent observers rely on pure observation instead. They watch reality, which creates true understanding. They don't rush to judge. They patiently observe physical patterns, knowing for a fact that consistency over time will always expose a person's real character. As the saying goes, people may control their words, but psychology always reveals the truth. So I challenge you to take these nonverbal tools into your daily interactions. Watch those postures, look out for the mirroring, and pay really close attention to those sudden shifts in baseline behavior. Apply this knowledge to protect yourself against deception, because the next time you step into a crowded room, you have to ask yourself, who is telling you their deepest secrets without saying a single word?